Okay, picture this. You just landed in a country where everyone speaks English. You have your bags, your passport, and absolutely no idea what to do next.
Every sign is in English, everyone around you is moving fast, and you're just standing there trying to look like you know what you're doing.
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle. Welcome back to Daily English Listening Podcast. So happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Chris. Today we're walking you through your very first international trip, from the moment you get to the airport all the way to checking into your hotel. Every phrase you need, every situation that might trip you up.
Just relax and listen. By the end of this episode, you'll feel so much more prepared.
Seriously, we're gonna make this feel easy.
So let's start at the very beginning. You arrive at the airport and you need to check in. This is where you go to the airline counter or a self-service kiosk to confirm your flight and drop off your luggage.
And the first thing someone at the counter will say is usually, "Can I see your passport and booking confirmation, please?"
So you hand over your passport and they start the process. Then they ask, how many bags are you checking today?
Checking here means putting your luggage into the cargo, the bags that go under the plane, not the ones you carry with you.
And if you have one suitcase, you say, just one bag, please. Simple.
Then they put a tag on your bag, hand you your boarding pass, and say something like, "Your gate is B14. Boarding begins at 2:30.
Your boarding pass is the ticket that lets you get on the plane. It has your seat number, your gate, and your boarding time.
And gate is the specific door at the airport where you get on your plane. B14 means building B, door 14.
One thing that confuses a lot of first-time travelers, the difference between departure time and boarding time.
Oh, this one is so important. Departure time is when the plane actually leaves. Boarding time is when they start letting passengers onto the plane, usually 30 to 45 minutes before departure.
So if your flight departs at 3, you need to be at the gate by 2:15 at the latest, not at 3.
I learned that one the hard way. Not on an international flight, thankfully, but I almost missed a domestic one because I thought departure time meant show up at the gate time.
That panic of running through an airport is something nobody wants to experience.
Nobody. Okay, so you have your boarding pass. Now you go through security. This is the checkpoint where they check that you're not carrying anything dangerous onto the plane.
And this is where a lot of people get confused, because there are rules about what you can bring. Liquids have to be in small containers, under 100 milliliters, and inside a clear plastic bag.
They'll ask you to take out your laptop and your liquids and put them in a separate bin, a flat plastic tray, before the bag goes through the scanner.
The officer might say, please remove your shoes and belt, or take your laptop out of your bag. Just follow instructions. It feels awkward the first time, but it moves fast.
And if the scanner beeps when you walk through, don't panic. They'll just use a handheld device to check you. They call it a wand, and it's totally normal.
The officer might say, step to the side, please, or arms out. Just do what they say, and it's over in 30 seconds.
Now, before we go further, I want to hear from everyone listening. Drop a comment and tell us, have you ever been to an international airport and felt completely lost? What was the most confusing moment? We want to know because we know we're not the only ones with a story.
Seriously, the comments on these are always the best. Share yours. Okay, you're through security. Now you find your gate and you wait to board. When they start boarding, you'll hear announcements like, we are now boarding Group 1, or all passengers please proceed to gate B14.
Proceed to is a formal way of saying go to. You hear it a lot in airports.
And when you get to the gate, the agent scans your boarding pass and says, enjoy your flight. And that's it, you're on.
On the plane, if you need help, you can always call a flight attendant. That's the person who works on the plane, by pressing the button above your seat.
You'd say something like, excuse me, could I get a glass of water? Or, sorry to bother you, but my screen isn't working.
Sorry to bother you is such a useful phrase when you need something but don't want to seem demanding.
It's polite, natural, and native speakers use it all the time.
One more thing about being on the plane before we land. If you're on a long international flight, the flight attendants will hand out arrival cards or immigration forms that you need to fill out before landing.
These forms ask for basic information: your name, passport number, flight number, address where you're staying, and the purpose of your visit.
Fill them out on the plane so you're ready when you land. If you don't understand a question on the form, you can ask the flight attendant, "Excuse me, what does this mean?" And they'll explain.
And always use a pen, not a pencil. They usually hand out pens, but if not, always travel with one in your carry-on bag.
Carry-on bag. That's the bag you bring onto the plane with you. It goes in the overhead bin above your seat or under the seat in front of you.
As opposed to your checked bag, the one that goes in the cargo hold under the plane.
Good distinction. Okay, you've landed. Now comes one of the most nerve-wracking parts for first-time international travelers: immigration.
Immigration, also called passport control, is where an officer checks your passport and asks you some questions before you can enter the country.
And the questions always feel formal and serious, but they're actually pretty simple. They ask the same things every time. The officer will say, "What's the purpose of your visit?" That means, why are you here? Tourism? Work? Study?
And you answer, "I'm here on vacation," or "I'm visiting for tourism," or "I'm here for a conference." Short and direct.
They might also ask, "How long are you staying?" And you say, 1 week, or 10 days, or about 2 weeks.
Then, "Where are you staying?" Meaning, what's your hotel or address? You say the name of your hotel. "I'm staying at the Hilton downtown." Or if you're with family, "I'm staying with family in Brooklyn."
Sometimes they ask, "Do you have a return ticket?" This means, do you have a flight back home already booked? You say yes, and if they ask to see it, you show it on your phone.
The key thing about immigration is to stay calm, speak clearly, and keep your answers short. They don't want your life story, just the basic facts.
And if you don't understand a question, which happens because officers sometimes speak fast, it's completely fine to say, "I'm sorry, could you repeat that?" Or, "Could you say that more slowly, please?"
Officers hear that all the time. It's not a problem at all.
After immigration, you go to baggage claim, the area where your checked luggage comes out on a moving belt called a carousel.
You look for the screen that shows your flight number and tells you which carousel your bags are on. Then you wait and grab your bag when you see it.
And if your bag doesn't come out, which does happen, you go to the airline's lost luggage desk and say, "My bag didn't arrive. Here is my baggage claim ticket."
A baggage claim ticket is the small receipt they give you at check-in when they tag your bag. Always keep it.
The person at the desk will take your information and contact you when they find it. It's stressful, but it gets resolved. Okay, you have your bag, you're through customs. Customs is the final checkpoint where they sometimes check what you're bringing into the country. And now you're officially in. Time to get to your hotel.
Most people take a taxi, a rideshare like Uber, or public transportation. If you're taking a taxi from the airport, go to the official taxi stand, a designated area outside arrivals, and don't accept rides from random people who approach you inside the terminal.
That's a really important safety tip, actually. Official taxis have a sign or a marked counter. Random guys offering rides inside the terminal? Not a good idea.
When you get in the taxi, you say, "Hi, I'm going to hotel name, please," or "Can you take me to the Marriott on 5th Avenue?"
The driver might ask, "Do you know the address?" So it's smart to have the hotel address saved on your phone before you travel.
And if you want to know how long it'll take, how long does it take to get there? Super simple.
All right, you've made it to the hotel. Now you need to check in. You walk up to the front desk and the person says, "Welcome, do you have a reservation?"
A reservation is a booking. It means you already paid or reserved a room in advance. You say, "Yes, I have a reservation under your name."
They'll ask for your passport, confirm your details, and give you your room key, which these days is usually a card, not an actual key.
They'll tell you your room number, breakfast hours if it's included, and the Wi-Fi password. Listen for all three. Those are the things you actually need.
The Wi-Fi password is always the most important one.
always. And if you need anything, extra towels, a wake-up call, directions to the nearest pharmacy, you call the front desk. You just say, "Hi, this is room 215. Could I get an extra blanket, please?"
Hi, this is room number. That's how you start every call to the front desk. They need to know your room right away.
Now, let's talk about problems, because things don't always go perfectly, and knowing how to handle them in English is just as important as knowing the smooth version.
First common problem. Your room isn't ready when you arrive. This happens a lot, especially if you get there early in the day.
The front desk will say, "I'm sorry, your room isn't ready yet. Check-in time is at 3." And you'd say, "No problem. Is there somewhere I can leave my bags in the meantime?"
In the meantime means while you wait. And most hotels have a luggage storage area. They'll hold your bags for free while you walk around until your room is ready.
Second problem, something in your room isn't working. The air conditioning, the hot water, the television.
You call the front desk and say, "Hi, this is room 312. The air conditioning in my room isn't working. Could someone take a look?"
Could someone take a look? That's a very natural, polite way to ask for help with something broken or not working.
They'll usually send someone up within 30 minutes, and if the problem can't be fixed quickly, they might offer to move you to a different room.
Third problem, noise. The room next to you is loud or there's construction outside.
"Hi, I'm in room 208. There's a lot of noise coming from the next room. Is there anything you can do?" Very direct, not rude, completely appropriate.
Hotels deal with this all the time. They'll usually call the other room or offer you a different one.
And fourth, the Wi-Fi isn't working, because that's a real emergency.
The most important one. "Hi, I'm having trouble connecting to the Wi-Fi. The password doesn't seem to be working." They'll help you immediately.
Okay, let's also talk about something that doesn't always get covered: asking for help when you're just generally lost or confused in the airport or hotel.
Because sometimes you don't have a specific problem, you just don't know where to go.
The magic phrase is, "Excuse me, could you help me? I'm looking for," and then you say what you need.
"Excuse me, could you help me? I'm looking for gate C6. Excuse me, could you help me? I'm looking for baggage claim."
People are generally very helpful in airports and hotels. Nobody's going to judge you for asking.
And if you're really lost and need someone to slow down, "I'm sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again more slowly?" is always okay.
One thing worth mentioning: in big international airports, there are information desks staffed with people specifically there to help confused travelers. Look for signs that say information or tourist assistance.
Those people know the airport perfectly, and helping lost travelers is literally their job. Don't wander around stressed for 20 minutes. Just find the desk and ask.
"Excuse me, I just landed and I'm not sure where baggage claim is." Done. They'll point you in the right direction immediately.
And in hotels, the concierge is a similar resource.
The concierge is a staff member whose specific job is to help guests with questions, directions, and recommendations. Need a restaurant nearby? Ask the concierge. Not sure how to get to a museum? Concierge. Need the closest pharmacy? Concierge.
"Excuse me, could I speak to the concierge?" That's your opener. Use every resource available. Asking for help is smart travel, not a weakness.
"I didn't catch that." This is such a natural, native phrase. It means "I didn't understand or hear what you said," not "I don't understand. I didn't catch that."
Much more natural. Use it freely.
There's also "I'm not sure I follow," which means I'm listening but I'm losing track of what you're saying. A little more formal, but very useful.
Both are great tools for any confusing conversation, not just in airports.
One last thing before we go into our word review: body language matters too. If you look calm and approachable, people will help you more easily. Standing with confidence, making eye contact, saying "excuse me" clearly before asking a question, all of that makes communication smoother.
And smiling. Smiling goes a long way even when your English isn't perfect yet.
100%. Okay, let's take a moment with some of the key expressions from today, because these are ones you'll use on your very first trip.
Starting with boarding pass, the document, physical or digital, that allows you to get on your plane. It shows your name, flight number, seat, and gate. "Can I see your boarding pass, please?" is what they ask at the gate.
Departure time versus boarding time. Departure is when the plane leaves, boarding is when they start letting people on. Always arrive at your gate before boarding time, not departure time.
Purpose of your visit. The question immigration officers ask to understand why you are entering the country. Answer simply: tourism, work, or study.
Baggage claim. The area where your checked luggage arrives after the flight. You wait at the carousel that corresponds to your flight number.
Reservation. A booking you made in advance. At the hotel, you say, "I have a reservation under my name," to start the check-in process.
In the meantime, a very useful phrase, meaning while you wait or during this period. Can I leave my bags here in the meantime?
Could someone take a look? A very natural, polite way to request that staff check or fix something in your room. Much softer than "fix this."
I didn't catch that. The native way to say you didn't hear or understand something. Use it freely instead of "I don't understand."
Proceed to. A formal airport phrase meaning go to. All passengers please proceed to gate B7.
And, "Excuse me, could you help me?" The opener for any moment when you're lost or confused. Direct, polite, works everywhere.
These phrases will carry you through almost every situation on your first international trip. Practice them once out loud and they'll be there when you need them.
And hey, if you're building your travel English piece by piece, go check out our episode on how to order fast food like a native, because once you land and get to your hotel, you're going to be hungry, and that episode has everything you need for that next moment.
It connects perfectly. Go find it right below.
See you there.